What is Cafe Mocha? Experts, celebrities, music and features from a woman's perspective. Intriguing conversation, the Swag Award, espresso, the MC Light Mix. Radio from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
Welcome to Cafe Mocha, a new flavor with one experience. I'm Angelique.
I'm Lonnie Love.
And I'm Nicole Laurie Parker.
It's Valentine's Day, and instead of getting all mushy and talk about love and junk, we decided to deal with those who haven't found love.
Mm-hmm. Our topic today is bitterness keeping you from love.
Yeah, some of y'all know what we talking about. We gonna talk about it the whole show.
Don't nobody like a bitter woman.
It's Cafe Mocha. It's Valentine's weekend, and we want to help people find love.
You know, people always ask me about my marriage to Boris and how we found love. And what I say is one thing you have to do is you have to be ready and open for it, and which is an impossible thing when you're bitter and angry from past relationships. Like when I met him and we realized that we were falling in love, I'm going to be honest, I backed off.
Really?
I took a risk because I was still evil from my last relationship. My heart had been broken. I was negative. I was fussy. I was irritable. And I said, if I go into this with this man, I'm going to ruin it. And I took the risk, I kid you not, to get my heart right and my mind right. And I got back with him, and we took off. Married, kids, everything, house. And thank God I waited, because healing that heart is extremely important.
How long did it take for like that relationship that you broke up with and the time that, you know, you and Boris started actually getting serious?
1 solid year.
Really?
I mean, but we kikied on the phone a little bit every now and then.
Yeah.
You know, but
what'd he say to you, girl?
Lonnie, just stop.
I can
Lonnie,
imagine.
okay, listen.
he put on a little Will Downing in the background. No, we really tried to stay friends, and I had to listen through, you know, I had to be his friend too and listen to his relationship stories. I was dying on the inside, dying. But, you know, I knew that all my neck rolling and lips poked out and whateverness, and basically bitterness, I could feel it. It's like a poison. You cannot expect to walk around with all that poison and find true love.
Okay, let's just get real for a minute. Okay,
Yeah.
Angelique, let's just get real. Because when you're dating a man,
Yes.
I don't care. I know Boris, I know he on a different level, but I'm saying, not to get too into the I'm just trying to understand, how did you handle and throw out all them other women?
Oh, God.
How'd you do it?
Well, when you show up right, he throws them out by himself.
All right. There it is.
Hey, she got it real. She got it real.
Valentine's
I
Day.
ain't had to do nothing.
On the way.
I ain't worried
On the
about
way.
that.
I ain't worried about nothing. Don't get me in trouble, Lonnie.
I'm not.
He's out in the parking lot with a
Is he in the parking lot?
Oh, you should have
Let's go to a commercial break real quick, Angelique.
Oh my gosh.
On the way, he's called the Heart Healer. He's going to help us heal some of that bitterness.
What would I do without your smart mouth?
You know, I think a big problem is that people are bitter and don't even realize it. Joining us to diagnose the problem is a man called the Heart Healer, Rob Hill Sr. I love that name.
Thank you. I appreciate you all having me.
Now, I want to ask you about bitterness and how to identify whether you're bitter or not.
Well, I think there are a few signs. I think one would be people who are eagerly dismissive. People who are always looking for a reason to write you off. Like, they find your flaws quickly and they say, I can't talk to this person because this is wrong with them, or I can't talk to them because, you know, we come up with those things. And then, of course, you have people who are defensive. They think everybody's out there to get them or want to hurt them, or, you know, that nobody gets a fair shot with that person.
Okay.
You have your ego-driven people who would much rather be right than be happy. They don't really care about working it out with you. They just want to make sure that, you know, they get their point across so that they're right, and, you know, that's really all they care about. You have the, I call the anti-Cupid, the ones who hate seeing other people happy. You know, they may be single, but they don't, any you can post a picture of a happy couple and it'll make them sick. They're just, they're kind of fed up with love. And then you have, I think, a common case of people who lack self-confidence. They feel like they write you off as a waste of time because all their past relationships made them feel like that's what they were doing. So anytime somebody shows interest in them, they kind of just brush them off because they don't want to allow themselves to believe that genuine people are still out there and would be interested in them. We kind of, when our situations fail, we kind of look at ourselves and we look at our flaws and we come up with these reasons as to why things aren't going to work out the way we would want them to.
All right.
These sound like symptoms, Angelique, kind of, right? Like what's really going on is something, like really sad on the inside with these people. But the symptom is bitterness.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why when we come back, I want to talk about the remedies for this. We sort of laid out what it looks like, how it manifests in the relationship. And now when we come back with the heart healer, we're going to talk about remedies for healing that broken heart, that bitterness. It's Cafe Mocha. Mocha. We've got Rob Hill Sr. on the line. He is called the Heart Healer, and we're at the point where we want remedies. I mean, we could sit here all day and just complain about men and stuff and things, but how do you remedy bitterness?
I think we have a couple different options. I took down 5. The first is being open-minded. We have to realize not everybody is the same. Not everybody's out to get us. Not everybody wants to bring us that same pain that we experienced. A lot of us have more things in common than we give each other credit for. The next is being honest with yourself. I think happiness is the product of accountability. It's owning it. It's you're not blaming yourself for everything that went wrong, but you're owning your part of it. You're understanding that, you are in charge of whatever changes you need to take in order to find the happiness you want. And, it kind of puts you in the driver's seat.
Right.
I think a lot of us need to take that active role as far as the love we want goes. It's not just sitting back wishing upon a star.
Right.
I think being spontaneous helps. Sometimes comfort zone is the worst thing for hurting heart. It kind of keeps us bogged down and we're sad and we get into this routine.
Sitting on the couch.
And we're trying to cope, but what we're doing is really imprisoning our hearts. We're kind of just sitting there we're wallowing in it. And I think sometimes we need to just get up and surprise ourselves, give us that rush to feel alive again. I think reading is a big part. Books are incredible tools at refreshing perspective. Sometimes it's good to, we like to think we're the only person who experience what we experience. Yep. And, 9 times out of 10, we'll find that once you start reading or once you start exploring or even talking about your problems, you'll see that
somebody else is going through this.
And sometimes their opinion or, their way of thinking or processing can help refresh our perspective. And I think lastly, we need to be accepting to change. We have to embrace different things, learn from what's new, and be willing to explore again.
Does that mean dating outside our race?
I think it means giving ourselves options.
Open-minded.
Open-minded,
yes.
Number 1 and number 5.
Okay.
Rob, how do people get in touch with you?
You can contact me on my website. It's www.robhillsenior.com. It's ROBHILLSR.com. It's actually the same for all social media as far as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram go. It's Rob Hill Senior, ROBHILLSR.
All right. Thank you so much, and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you all as well. Thank you for having me again.
Thank you.
You can find us at Cafe Mocha Radio on Facebook and Twitter. I'm Angelique. On the way, Regina Hall and Michael Ealy talk about last night. Plus, how does a family really feel about Bobby Christina's marriage? I've got the answer in the espresso. Here's Mary Mary. Find us at Cafe Mocha Radio on Facebook and Twitter. It's Angelique, Valentine's weekend, and I'm sure everybody's rushing out to see the new movie about last night. Joining me is one of the stars, Regina Hall. Now, for all of those who didn't see the original, tell us about these two couples.
My character, Joan, meets a wonderful guy played by Kevin Hart, who plays Bernie. And they're the catalyst for Michael Ealy and Joy Bryant, their characters, Danny and Debbie, to meet. And then you kind of see the unraveling of one and the coming together of another one, and then the both. And it's a lot of comedy within all of those, like, relationships and friendships.
Now, speaking of comedy, how is it teaming up with Kevin Hart again?
He loves to work. You know, he's a guy that comes, he brings, like, all of him to a scene. You know, he really shows up, and considering how busy he is, how sought after he is, everything he has going on, like, when he's at work, he's present, and you feel that. I always feel that working with him. And always he brings ideas. Regina, let's do this, let's do that. So it's great because we kind of take the script and we can expound. And, you know, he starts off like that with every scene.
Talking to Regina Hall about last night in movie theaters this weekend. Just from the trailer, you and Kevin look crazy. What part do you play in sort of the relationship craziness?
She's a dentist, but she's fiery. She has a lot of personality. I would probably say she's passionate. So, you know, she's passionate about teeth. She's passionate about Bernie. She's passionate about Debbie. You know, she's passionate and she is emotional. But she's really comfortable with who she is. Like, she's kind of unapologetically human. And she's smart, very intelligent, very witty, which is why she and Bernie, I think, go along so well together, because they kind of have a personality and a wit that complement each other.
Okay. It's Cafe Mocha, and you know, this show is hosted by women, it's produced by women. I couldn't help but notice About Last Night was written by women as well. What role do you think that plays? Did it make any difference to you at all?
And I was actually really excited that a woman wrote it, because the women in the script they were very independent and very, like, they talked like me and my girlfriends. Okay. You know, like how women really talk as opposed to how you see women talk in movies, where there's a lot of honesty. And how was it? And I liked their relationships in it, and I laughed. I thought it was really funny.
All right, About Last Night in movie theaters now, on the way. Michael Ealy right now. The latest from Algebra. It's Cafe Mocha. Sexy, sexy love making music this Valentine's weekend. I'm Angelique. You can find us at Cafe Mocha Radio on Facebook and Twitter. With me right now, star of About Last Night, I've got Michael Ealy. Now, what's your take of the movie? How would you describe it?
About Last Night is about real relationships.
Okay.
You know, there's nothing really romanticized in this particular film. I mean, you see, it's got a nice balance to it where you see the good and the bad in a relationship, you know, and four people who tend to kind of overlook some of the glaring red flags that are there at the beginning in an attempt to try and make themselves happy.
Right. I'm talking to Michael Ealy. About Last Night is in theaters right now. You and Kevin Hart play buddies and Think Like a Man. We're used to seeing you guys together. In a few words, how would you describe it this time around?
More fun this time than it was the last time. Okay. We are growing a certain rhythm and a rapport with each other, whereby we can look at a scene and it just becomes a blueprint. We're both going to improv. We're both going to make it work. We're going to give it that rhythm that it needs, that back and forth nature that's going to make it really pop. And we have so much fun doing that together. And at the same time, you know, having Kevin around during the long hours is the best thing that you can ask for, because we work long hours, and as it gets, the later and later it gets, the more you need to laugh. And there's just no version of not laughing on this set with Kevin Hart around.
That's cool. It's Cafe Mocha Radio. I'm Angelique talking to Michael Ealy. One of the things I remember about the 80s version of About Last Night was Demi Moore, Rob Lowe, and raunchy sex scenes. You know, it was kind of nasty for the time period. Will we get some of that sexiness this time?
I think I've had more sex in this movie than any other project I've done. Maybe even combined. I mean, there's a lot.
Okay.
We do a lot. We do it a lot. And it's awesome. You know, it's very grown, I think, to kind of show what grown people really do, you know, as opposed to just kind of, you know, see somebody kissing and then move the frame up to like the sunset or something. You know what I mean? Nah, we getting it in.
All right, Michael Ealy getting it in this weekend. About Last Night, perfect Valentine's Day movie. Even if you don't have a Valentine, just take your girl. On the way, MC Light hits the ones and twos with the Light Mix. Here's the latest from R. Kelly. I'm Angelique with your Cafe Mocha Espresso. After 3 seasons and 3 different casts, Simon Cowell's X Factor has been canceled and Kelly Rowland's out of a job.
I can tell you it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And getting to know the contestants, and Simon is just so fun. Demi is a sweetheart, and Pau, I barely understood some of the things that she was saying, but she was awesome.
Meanwhile, American Idol winner Candace Glover is being featured in a documentary on the Music Choice Channel. All month long in celebration of Black History Month, they're honoring Black women in music.
I went from singing, at restaurants for like $25 a night to, at weddings and funerals and stuff, and I knew that American Idol was my way out. I'm from a small town and everything, so I knew that if I kept trying, it would happen.
And this week, the world looked back at the loss of Whitney Houston. It's been 2 years, and her daughter, Bobby Christina, wants to make one thing clear about her marriage.
Nick, he said, Grandma, I want to marry her. Is it okay? She smiled very wide, and she said, yes, son, you have my blessing.
That's your Cafe Mocha Espresso. I'm Angelique.
This is Cafe Mocha. Cafe Mocha.
It is Cafe Mocha, one experience. This is your girl, DJ MC Light. Right now, you are inside the Light Mix, where we take you back. Bring back those good memories. Please be sure to download the app for your phone. It's absolutely free. Cafe Mocha Radio.
Look what you're doing to me. When it feels like
It's Cafe Mocha, one experience. So glad that you could be here for the Light Mix. Got Angelique and Lonnie Love on standby. This is how we do. Every portion of the show where we get to the Light Mix, they get to sit back and I get to do what I do. Holiday. This takes me back to about 1983. Oh my, the time flies. Rock with us on this. It's Cafe Mocha Radio. Come on. It's Cafe Mocha, one experience. Please be sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Our social media game is mean, you know what I'm saying? In any case, be sure to download the app. Bring Light Mixes straight to your phone. It's Cafe Mocha, yours truly, DJ MC Light. You are now inside the Light Mix. Keep it locked, Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. That was the MC Light Mix. Get it, girl.
The show this weekend's been, is bitterness keeping you from love? We got 5 points on how to heal our hearts from the heart healer. 1, be open-minded. 2, be honest about who you are and where you're at. Be spontaneous. Read some books about love. And 5, accept that things change.
I did all 5, Lonnie.
And now she's married.
That's why she married and got kids. That beautiful man. Hey, thank y'all for joining us this week. And we'll see y'all next week. Remember, keep love in your heart. Seriously.
Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in association with Cumulus Media Networks. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. Writer and producer Angelique Perrin. For comments and more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.